You're 12 years old again. It's past your bedtime, and the light from the cracked screen of your iPod illuminates your sweaty face as you breathe in your own carbon dioxide. You're hiding underneath your blanket, listening for your parents' footsteps in the hallway, knowing that you're not gonna get any sleep tonight because you're reading Creepypastas. To my very young fans and my very old fans, no, a creepypasta is not a dish served by an Italian ghost. That joke was funnier when I wrote it down, but scary images and stories that have been spread so widely across internet forums that they've essentially become urban legends. Some creepypastas have become so well known they've inspired entire franchises or tragic crimes, but not all creepypastas are written equally or grammatically correctly. So grab yourself a hashtag basic pumpkin drink and throw some of those Pillsbury Halloween cookies that are quite literally more addictive than actual crack in the oven as we read some hilariously bad creepypastas together. Of course, we have to pay homage to the classics and start with Jeff the Killer, one of the most popular creepypastas of all time. For some reason. The story comes with this delightful picture, which looks like every time I've ever checked my phone in the middle of the night and accidentally flashbanged myself. Girl, what foundation is that? Not a pore in sight. Jeff, honey, you're already slaying. You don't need to slay innocent civilians. You know what? That's honestly probably the shade of foundation I actually need. Should I terrorize my local Sephora by bringing in a photo of Jeff the Killer for a color match? The story opens with the interview of an anonymous young boy, a survivor of an unknown killer at large responsible for a string of local murders.
I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There in the little ray of light, illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of 2 eyes.
As opposed to, of course, a pair of 3 eyes or a pair of 5 eyes.
The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way only
a madman could speak? Said in a way only a madman could speak? Where did they find this child? The Victorian era?
He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door.
Wow, incredible response time from the local police department, probably the most unrealistic part of this story so far. After the mysterious killer vanishes into the night, we jump back in time to a family moving into a new neighborhood. Jeff, his brother Lou, and their very, emotionally detached parents. While Jeff and Lou are sitting at the bus stop waiting for their first day of school, they are attacked by what I can only describe as an evil gang of middle schoolers who are led by a kid named Randy. The kids seem to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff.
It looks like we got some new meat.
Suddenly, 2 other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge.
Over there is Keith.
Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. ASAB, assigned sidekick at birth. How unfortunate.
And he's Troy.
They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. My God, why did we pause the narrative to come for Troy like that? So the kids take out their knives and they steal Lou's wallet, and at this point, 13-year-old Jeff apparently becomes a martial arts master, channeling all 4 Ninja Turtles at once because he breaks one kid's wrist, steals his knife, stabs another kid, and then just lays the last kid out with a single punch. Jeff and Lou flee the scene, but the next morning, the pigs come knocking. Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids, that it wasn't regular fighting, and that they were stabbed.
Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou.
Son, said one of the cops, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach. Okay, I feel like you don't have to mention the bruise once stabbing becomes involved. And we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now, what does that tell us?
Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids.
Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie.
Wait, says Lou. They all looked up to see him holding a knife.
The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou. They do not hesitate to whip their piece out at the child. Very accurate representation of the American police force. I take back what I said earlier. I'm immersed again.
It was me. I beat up those little punks.
Son, just put the knife down.
Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. No, Lou, it was me. I did it. Jeff had tears running down his face.
I love the idea of these officers just standing in the living room, hands on their holsters like, can you two hurry up and decide who did it? We gotta take somebody to jail today. Bring out the tiny handcuffs, chop chop.
The police led Lou out to the patrol car.
Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop. The only thing scary about this story so far is how this child's constitutional rights are being violated. Just straight to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200, no trial, no jury of his peers. Well, actually, I guess the jury could not be made up of his peers because then they would all have to be children. Can you imagine being brought before a judge and you look over and the entire jury box is full of 7th graders? Even though his brother was literally just shipped off to prison, Jeff's mom forces him to go to the neighbor kid's birthday party for some reason, like 2 days later. While Jeff is in the backyard playing with the other kids at the party, the 3 bullies from before vault the fence, having miraculously recovered from their injuries within 48 hours and attack him. They've also apparently upgraded to firearms at this point, which, who is giving these children access to deadly weapons? Hello? They beat Jeff up and then they get this bottle of vodka from the counter and smash it over his head, which, why is there a bottle of vodka just out during a middle schooler's party? Did the parents just send all the kids outside so they could turn up? Anyways, this is the point where Jeff has his psychological snap and he attacks the bully, Randy. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. He punched a kid so hard in the chest that his heart stopped beating. Okay, Jeff manages to kill all the bullies, but not before alcohol and bleach are poured all over him, and one of the bullies throws a lighter. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Pretty sure that's not how that works. I'm pretty sure he would just be on fire. Laundry companies wish that bleach was that powerful of a whitening agent. I guess this origin story is still better than the original, where Jeff slips on a bar of soap while cleaning his bathtub with acid and spills acid all over himself. Yep, Jeff is sent to the hospital, his brother is released, and the bullies are defeated, but Jeff is permanently disfigured by his injuries. Skin bleached white. Conveniently, only the area around his mouth burned red, and his hair singed from brown to black. That's right, girlies, stop getting those box dyes to get that coveted level 1 darkest black and just light yourself on fire. But Jeff is actually super stoked about his new look.
I've never felt more happy. Ha ha, ha ha ha, ha. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me.
He couldn't stop laughing. Later, Jeff's mom finds Jeff in the bathroom. He is at this point burned his eyelids off and has cut his face into a permanent smile, Joker style. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane.
What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face. She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun. I love how she just immediately resorts to a super late term abortion. The kid's like 13. Just throw a Roblox gift card as hard as you can and run the opposite direction. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway, holding a knife.
Mommy, you lied.
That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting both of them. And then even though all this happened because Jeff was trying to protect his brother, he kills him too. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lou.
Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep.
I don't know, I feel like this one's not that scary. I feel like I could beat this kid in a fight. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. Whoa. Okay, buddy, I actually have very neutral opinions about the Hedgehog. We both like chili dogs, but that is the extent of our relationship, okay? I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore the towns in it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. Our protagonist checks the mailbox and finds a CD with a note from his friend Kyle that reads, "Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me, and if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me." "Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc, and you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Kyle." You would think this frantic, cryptic letter would cause Tom to be at least slightly concerned, but you would be incorrect. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it, since I'm a big Sonic fan. He hasn't heard from his best friend in 2 weeks, who at this point may or may not be dead, but God damn it, he has his priorities, and those priorities begin and end with Sonic. The first thing I noticed that was out of place when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different, something that I now consider horrifying, before cutting to black. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666. It's the bad number. But the freakiest thing that was in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with 2 glowing red dots staring right at me. Sonic with red glowing eyes? Well, my shimbers have been thoroughly tivered. What freaked me out more was the character select. Wait, hold on, didn't you just say that the freakiest thing was Sonic? It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik? Now, I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? This is what put you over the edge, Tom? Playing Dr. Robotnik in a classic Sonic game? This is where a true gamer has to draw a line in the sand? Kyle is dead, Tom! And you're worried about the fidelity of this game to its source material? Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that. So our fearless Tom starts playing the game that, once again, his best friend, who he hasn't seen in 2 weeks, begged him to destroy. In the first level, he plays as Tails, wandering through barren fields littered with slaughtered animal carcasses, until he reaches the end of the level, where Sonic is waiting ominously. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic. I felt that Tails was in danger, and something bad was gonna happen. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black, with those red glowing dots. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" Then this idiot kid, who is obviously getting the Jigsaw treatment, the movie, not the puzzle, keeps playing for some reason, booting up a level where Tails is literally trapped in a fiery hellscape. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the 4th wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. Just turn it off. I'm sorry. I'm getting
I'm getting too emotionally invested. I see Sonic behind Tails, slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying.
Oh my god!
Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow! Wanna try again?" I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? No, not the canon relationships between the characters in my favorite franchise, no!
Tom then sends Knuckles to his doom as well, running down a metal hallway soaked with blood until Sonic catches him too.
Another cutscene played as Knuckled fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. Another text message appeared.
So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree?
Then Tom does what I also do whenever I'm overwhelmed by a situation that's completely within my control to fix. He takes a nap. In his dreams, he is tormented by visions of Sonic.
You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle. Though he didn't last long. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others. When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding, black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game.
Why? The kid proceeds to the next level, sending Dr. Robotnik to some kind of nightmare dimension, and at the end of the level is once again faced with Sonic.
The image showed a hyper-realistic man.
These kids really loved using the word hyper-realistic in their creepypastas, huh? Was it like the word of the day on Sesame Street or something?
And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean he looked so real. You could actually see the lines in his blue fur. As if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen.
Dude, I feel like I'm actually there right now. Holy shit.
I am God! It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then, this Sonic was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented, damn, Tom, going off with those adjectives. Paint a picture for us, Tom. Don't hold back. Monster, and all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can stop saying possibly. Pretty sure Kyle is in the deepest circle of Sega's Inferno right now.
Or just his little toys, and the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a widowy, spiraling abyss of pure darkness.
I'm sorry, that voice just happens whenever I see the word literally. It's like I'm a sleeper agent, and that's my activation word to start doing a cringy voice that nobody finds funny.
Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes.
Yep. That's how it ends. Sonic.exe would go on to inspire many infamous haunted video game creepypastas, but its popularity was not enough to save it from the scorn of the almighty creepypasta wiki admins who had it removed on the grounds that it was badly written. This led to the creator posting a very normal tirade begging fans of his work to fight the decision, and this post ended with this: "The haters need to bleed for their crimes. Rejoice, my fellow Sonic.exe fans. Our glorious little hellspawn shall have the laugh yet. This will be his ultimate victory, the absolute subjugation of the internet itself." Okay. Eyeless Jack is a short horror story that was based on this viral image. It's another example of a classic creepypasta that was very popular despite it being, you know what, let's just read it. Hello, my name is Mitch. Hi, Mitch. I'm here to tell you guys about an experience I had. I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever stupid words people use to describe supernatural phenomena. Nope, you're good. Paranormal was a good choice. Go crazy with those SAT vocabulary words. But after that thing visited me, I believe in that paranormal trash now. Mitch goes on to explain that after foreclosing on his house, he moved in with his brother Edwin, who he hadn't seen in 10 years. For some reason. Mitch began to hear rustling noises outside the house at night, but the brothers just assumed it was a raccoon. Until the next night, however, I thought I heard my window opening and a loud thump, as if something entered my room. I darted up and looked around my room, but I saw nothing. The next morning, Edwin dropped his coffee cup when he saw me. He held up a nearby mirror, and I saw myself. I had a large gash in my left cheek. So you're telling me that not only did you not wake up when someone cut you across the face, but you also did not notice it or feel it the next morning. Mitch rushes to the hospital where he learns that his injuries are even more severe than he thought. He lifted up my shirt to reveal a sewn up incision where my kidneys were. You, somehow lost your left kidney last night, my doctor told me. We, don't know how though. Sorry, Mitch. Most casual doctor ever. He's clearly been sampling his patients' Xanax prescriptions. Sorry, man. Shit just happens. You only got one left though, so keep an eye on it. That'll be $30,000. Then Mitch just goes home. Doesn't contact the police, just goes home. The next night was my breaking point. I'm sorry, losing your kidney wasn't your breaking point? Around midnight, I woke up to see a truly horrifying sight. I was staring face to face with a creature with a black hoodie and dark blue mask with no nose or mouth staring down at me. The thing that scared me the most was that it had no eyes, just empty, black sockets. I grabbed a camera from the nearby mantle and took a picture. You're telling me his first impulse when attacked by an unknown entity with malicious intent is to gather photographic evidence? He's in his influencer era. How narratively convenient. Immediately after taking the shot, the creature lunged at me and tried to claw open my chest to get to my lungs. I stopped it by kicking it in the face. As I ran out of my room, I grabbed my wallet. I would need the money. Mitch is in that grind set so hard that he makes sure to grab his wallet, but not warn his brother of the dangerous killer in the house. As Mitch flees the scene with his wallet and without his brother, he trips on a rock in the woods. I fell unconscious and woke up in the hospital. My doctor, the same one who treated me before, entered the room. I have good news and bad news, Mitch. The good news is that you had minor injuries and your parents are going to pick you up. I sighed with relief. The bad news is that your brother has been killed by something. Sorry. Way to bury the lead, Doc. Are there any other pleasant factoids you wanted to share with me before informing me of my brother's death? So, once again, without alerting the authorities, Mitch and his parents go to the house, the active crime scene, to just pick up Mitch's stuff. I grabbed my camera and then stopped dead in my tracks. In the hallway leading to my room, I saw Edwin's body and something small lying next to it. I retrieved it up and entered my parents' car, not mentioning Edwin's corpse. What? Why? Why wouldn't, what? I looked at the thing I had picked up and nearly vomited. I was holding my stolen, half-eaten kidney with some black substance on it. I have so many questions. I hope you all enjoyed reliving these particularly cringy childhood memories with me. As ridiculously bad as these stories are, they will always have a place in what's left of my heart. Please do not be offended on these authors' behalf. I love these stories. The bad grammar and plot holes are all part of the charm. Still though, I can't believe I was actually scared of these stories as a kid. I mean, they're so